Hello, everyone. Do me a favor, give me a sound check real quick. Make sure this puppy is still on. It's been a while since I've had this thing fired up. Let's go ahead and check the chat real quick here on the YouTube side. Looks like Bradley Collins first. Phil's number 2. And where are we at here? You guys are been working hard today and talking about Major Ken, number 3. You were deterred. Anybody else having banks calling them trying to drum up business? No, I haven't seen that yet. I do have a lot of people calling me trying to buy my my house in North Carolina, but Tefel says I'm 5x5. Good to go. Let's see here. You know, I thought I could thought there was a way to. I'm in the process. I'm going to be changing my streaming software. I mean, it's inconsequential to you guys, but there's another company out there that's actually cheaper than what I'm using, as well as better with more capabilities. So you will be seeing somewhat of a change. As we get into this, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to move me over there, and then we're going to flick this button over here, and we're going to go and boom, we're going to do that right there. Okay, guys. So this is a few changes to the stream, nothing major, but the bottom line is it's time to start promoting the companies that are supporting Prep Stock, or they're our actual sponsors. So you're going to start seeing their logos and stuff on the. If you got any questions, let me know. We're not going to push them too hard. We'll probably talk about 2 of them per stream. That's it. All right. So it looks like we've got a few people in here. Also, I do have. Where is that at? There it is. Okay. Looks like I cannot tell how many people are inside of the Rumble side, because we are going out to YouTube, Rumble, and X. But it looks like Hicktown Tunny was out. Cat, get off my foot. First, we got Tina's over there, number 2. And I can't tell if anybody else, because nobody else checks. If you haven't checked in, do me a favor, go ahead and do that now. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button on whatever platform it is, please hit that. It will draw more people in. And I appreciate the work that you do. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Took my cough drop, drank my coffee. Cat is attacking my foot. He has a foot fetish. He's the one that I tried to pick up for you guys the other day, and he clawed the crap out of me. Get out of here. He's getting a lot better, but he thinks. There you go. Cat will run away every time you pull their tail hard enough. Anywho, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and push this. I gotta find a way to get that so I can see it. I'm trying to adjust things on the different screens because that's how we do things. We make them so I can read them. Okay, so comments right there. Okay, it looks like Bob showed up. Bradley's here. Larry's checking in. Major Ken. At least I don't have to hear the coastal weather. Laugh out loud. I'll be offshore soon. I'm going to bring that back just for you, man. Just for you. Okay, so first story, guys. This was breaking news yesterday. Apparently, and we're going to talk about the basics, as usual, the stupid news. And then we'll get into some more detailed pieces here. But the FBI had actually brought props. You guys remember this picture right here? Can you remember that picture from the Mar-a-Lago investigation? Well, apparently the FBI brought props to its raid former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago for classified documents that were pictured in an infamous photo taken at the alleged crime scene, according to the court documents. In a recent court filing, the chief DOJ prosecutor currently assigned to the special counsel Jack Smith's team admitted that that FBI agents brought cover sheets with the word "top secret" to the Mar-a-Lago raid to serve as placeholders for classified documents. However, according to the court filings originally published by the Declassified with Julie Kelly, both Trump's defense lawyer and the special counsel admitted that the classified documents now seem to be out of order following their seizure. So these were props, guys. Now, if you don't know anything about classified documents, in order to transport them via a human being, if they leave a secure environment, they're supposed to be in no less than a folder or cover that says what they are, just whatever classification they are. That's it. And that's those things that you see there. Aaron, I'm going to show you again. Those are the things that you see there where it says top secret, classified, all those right there. That's generally what they are. So the FBI story was, well, we did that so that we could separate them and we could like properly, contain them and sort them out. But then when it got down to it, they found out that that's not what really happened. There was no sorting whatsoever. They just started taking pictures with this stuff all over the place. So yeah, that's your government, and your FBI in action. Also, this also broke out last night. New York State it's kind of has something to do with it. Oh my God, it has something to do with it. Where are we at here? I don't have it in my notes, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. So the case in Florida has been permanently, or should I say, the case is not moving forward because the judge said there's so much stuff going on. There's no way this could actually work out correctly, right, or in either party's favor. So we're just going to put the brakes on this until all this other stuff, indefinitely suspended until they can figure out a few other things. So that's kind of a win for the El Trump-a-rooney. And I think it's a good thing because finally a judge is paying attention to the fact that there's so much hogwash out there that it's just ridiculous. You've got the Fannie Mae situation where she has not complied with the call for communication records between her office and the White House. And so that's going to come out. That'll probably come out here in the next week or so. More details on that. All these people that we know via just good judgment and common sense that have been colluding to alter the course of this election, they're slowly being sussed out and for what they are. All right, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next dumb one. This one's titled Psaki's Trump Death Porn. If you don't know who this is Jen Psaki. She's the former White House press secretary. She's the one who couldn't cut the mustard, even though they said, oh, it was always planned. She was only going to be there for a year. Now she's over there on MSNBC or CNN or something like that, just running her suck. She's running her suck amok. In a recent turn of events, former White House press secretary Jen Psaki has sparked controversy with her comments on MSNBC's Morning Joe, aka Orange Man Bad, discussing the potential outcomes for Donald Trump. Psaki remarks have ignited a firestorm of criticism, with many accusing her of being vile and sick. Now, here's why. The incident has ignited a debate on social media, with users expressing their opinions on the matter. Psaki's comments have been interpreted by some as a form of Trump death porn, quote fingers, while others have defined her right to speculate on the future of the former president. As the debate rages on, one thing is clear: the political landscape remains as changed and diverse as ever. What's that all mean? Well, she kind of went on the mainstream media and said, well, we don't really know what's going to happen to Trump. It would probably be okay if he wasn't around anymore. Hint, hint. So, yeah, that's what's happening there. All right. So, and then the last piece of stupid news, and this broke out last night. New York State Senator Kevin Parker, who worked to pass the Adult Survivors Act, which allowed E. Jean Carroll to go after Trump with accusations from 30 years ago, now says the law is unconstitutional after a rape lawsuit was filed against him yesterday. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. All right, we're going to go ahead and check the chat real quick here. I've got nothing on the Rumble side, and honestly, I don't even know how many of you are there. So do me a favor, check in if you're on the Rumble side, if you have not checked in yet. Let's see, over there on the YouTube side, I used to be able to put these comments inside of, you guys could see the comments. And I don't know, they've made some changes, so I don't know what's happening. All right, let's see here. Gonna scroll down. Made it. Bob Peta showed up. Larry is checking in. West Virginia Pappy says, "What's up?" Grumpy Acre says the FBI agents will probably be promoted for it. It's happened. It's happened before. I believe it, Grumpy. I believe it. Ian showed up. Good to go. Peppermint Patty. No, that's a different one. Pensaki. No, wait a minute. Did we call her Peppermint Patty? I think we did. What's our slur for the current one? I can't remember. I thought she had a name. Anyway, let's see here. Can we circle back? Yes, I remember. Circle back. All right, let's see here. We're gonna go ahead and move on. I'm gonna go ahead and push so many buttons. I really do need to get these automated in some way, shape, or form. Okay, guys, before we move on, I want to talk about one of our sponsors for Prep Stock. It's Jace Medical. You know, we don't think about these things all the time, but listen, the proof's in the pudding. You know, United Health was confirmed last week that it paid a ransom to hackers claiming to be involved in the cyber attack on its system. United Health reports a financial loss of $872 million stemming from that attack. You know, the amount paid has not been revealed, but a $22 million ransom was reported previously paid to what appears to be an uninvolved hacking group. The payment confirmed by United Health appears to be a separate payment, but that it has not been officially confirmed. The group reports that services are at near normal levels, with 99% of pre-incident pharmacies being able to process claims and 80% of functionality restored. Guys, this is why we all need a Jace case from Jace Medical, or we need to be, using their Jace Daily prescription supply system. Go to jacemedical.com. I'll leave a link below, or, for you guys to check out. And don't forget to use code LocalPrepper10 to save 10%. Guys, they shut down our pharmaceutical system. It was like that for about a week. It was pretty serious. It affected CVS. It affected Walgreens. It was pretty serious. And if you guys don't have a Jace case, then I don't know what to tell you if there's an emergency. If you don't have a 1-year supply of your medications that you need to survive, I don't know why. I don't know why. It's all very feasible. It's all very possible. jacemedical.com. Okay, we're going to go ahead and change that template right there. Grumpy, you seeing that, Grumpy? Grumpy. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to big trouble in Big China. Experts warn that TikTok ban will not be enough to counter the CCP's cyber aggression. On April 24, President Joe Biden signed a bill into law that could potentially ban the widely popular social media app TikTok in the U.S. unless the app's parent company divests itself from Chinese ownership. But experts say that despite the move to counter the Chinese Communist Party data warfare tactics, the administration is not treating the threat with the seriousness it deserves. Last week, Gordon Chang, a distinguished senior fellow at the Gatestone Institute, joined Washington Watch to discuss the growing threat that the CCP poses to U.S. national security. As I've told you before with that particular app, quote, China is vacuuming up data from around the world, not just the United States, he explained. And it's using it for various purposes. One of them, of course, is just economic. American app users lead the globe in the average revenue per user, and TikTok reportedly made $16 billion in the U.S. revenue in 2023. But most concerning to Chang is how China is using apps like TikTok to wage cyber warfare against the U.S. China is getting information in which to blackmail Americans. Remember TikTok? TikTok has 170 million devices, which means that Beijing is getting information about more than half of the American public on just one platform. There's more than just TikTok, but the CCP is using this in a way that is targeting the United States, and we just cannot permit that. And this is more than just economics. This really goes to national security. Chang's concerns were validated by Government Accountability Institute president and author Peter Schweitzer last month, who warned that the CCP is actively using apps like TikTok to harvest sensitive personal information of U.S. citizens, while also using the short form video format to spread communist propaganda by eliciting really intense emotions from young people that make them very susceptible to propaganda and manipulation that they use to their advantage. Remember the whole chaos, creating chaos is actually a weapon to be used by the cybersecurity professionals or hackers or cyber attackers, and that's how they prepare the battlefield so that when they do decide to do something, it has an emotional effect on the people who use the apps. Despite the dangers, Chang did not express confidence in Biden's administration's ability to counter the threat. The Biden administration doesn't have its heart in it because we need to show the same determination in protecting our data as the Chinese show in stealing it. China has violated every pledge that they've made to the United States on data security. They violated U.S. laws by stealing data, but the president's response has been to put his campaign for re-election on TikTok. He did that memorably during the Super Bowl this year. So it shows you a lack of seriousness on the part of the administration. And while I'm glad that he did sign the TikTok bill last month, he extended the deadline for the sale of TikTok until after the November 5th election. So that shows you what Biden is really thinking. Some have argued that the American system of free enterprise should allow foreign companies like ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, to operate freely, since American investors partially own the company. But as the recent developments in China forcing Apple to remove popular messaging apps from its app store in the country illustrates, the CCP does not extend any courtesies to American companies. Quote, "We are a very different society than China." Chang noted, "China is a communist state. It's top down. No Chinese individual, no Chinese entity can disobey or order from the Chinese, an unorder from the Chinese party." So when ByteDance says, well, we would never provide data to the Communist Party, well, it has no choice but to do that. In our country, big tech platforms collect data like TikTok does, but if they want to, and they often do, they resist requests from the federal government about supplying data. Chang further warned that the CCP cyber aggression is potentially serving as a foretaste of China's true ambitions, which are likely to eventually become open warfare, as illustrated by the communist regime's recent threats against the U.S. following the passage of military aid package to Taiwan. Quote, "They're going to send their planes across the median line in the Taiwan Strait, which is the boundary," he observed. "They'll send their ships close to Taiwan, but what they really need to keep our eye on is what they're going at Second Thomas Shoal and Scarborough Shoal in the Philippines, in the South China Sea, because they're engaging in really belligerent activities, some of which constitute acts of war. And they're doing it in defiance of Americans' warnings that we are prepared to use force against China to discharge our obligations pursuant to our mutual defense treaty with the Philippines." That's the great flashpoint right now. And that's what I think China means when they say it's going to impose a cost on us. Quote, "We have to ask a question, and that is, however, whenever has a military state with expansive territory ambitions engaged in vast military buildup and not gone to war?" That's a real question, guys. And if you don't know about the Philippines, you should know that the Chinese have been encroaching in the Philippines, which we do have a protection responsibility. We actually do have members of the military in the Philippines. They've been there for years. We did pull our bases out of there, but we do have access to the Philippines, and we do have a responsibility to protect them in writing. It's kind of the law. All right, so we're going to go ahead and check the chat real quick here. Let's see here. This thing's a pain in the butt. Did you say Rep passed law and it bit him in the butt, so he decided it wasn't a law anymore? It's something to that effect. Jordan says, hey, welcome, Jordan. Jordan, just noticed you were rocking the Wobby jacket. Yes, this is my M65 field jacket liner. It's a field jacket liner. I love this thing. This is the Whoopee. We got Off-Road Amanda. Greetings from South Carolina. Good to see you. Amanda or Armada. Off-Road Armada. There we go. The U.S. is stealing our data. Yeah, everybody is. Doug Frost is in the house. Good to see you, Doug, man. You need to get re-engaged, but you probably can't because people are watching. I got you, bro. Let's see here. They won't have their army ready until 2025 and China in 2027. Well, here's the thing. We're engaged in soft warfare. Salt and Pepper says it's a world run amok. We are engaged in soft warfare. We have been that way for some years now. We're fighting wars without fighting wars. The governments have figured out that our government has figured out, as long as we don't have boots on the ground someplace, where people don't really see it as a war. But the forever war is definitely raging on in different places. And if you think it's not a world war, then you would be 100% wrong. And here's why. When it's more than one country that is involved, it is considered a world war. But let's see, who do we got? Who's the big players? U.S., China, Russia, Philippines, Taiwan. Let's see. Ukraine. Oh, I'm running out of fingers, guys. So there is a world war that is boiling, throughout the globe. And I think that we need to pay very close attention to what is happening these days. Let's see here. Hicktown Honey says we are all submitting paper claims for some patients. It isn't over. I don't know what that means, Hicktown. Oh, let's see here. Thanks for the information and your time. Need to leave early. I got you, Ian. Take it easy, bro. Stay safe. Okay. Let's see here. So the next thing we're going to talk about. Do me a favor, guys. If you could type the number 1 in the chat just to wake things up, I would greatly appreciate it. It brings more people in. We can get more of this news that's never covered anywhere for some reason. It is absolutely mind-blowing. While I wait for the ones to roll in, it is absolutely mind-blowing to me that hey, what's up, Josh? That the mainstream media never talks about this stuff. It's absolutely mind-blowing, and it's not. It's like it doesn't fall in that fear porn realm. Thank you, Tina. What we got here? Salt and Pepper, Tefel, Doug Frost. Thank you, guys. Keep going. There's 19 of you on YouTube, and I know at least 3 of you, maybe 2 of you on Rumble. But it's just so hard to tell. But they just don't talk about this stuff, and it's mind blowing to me because the stuff that I'm getting out to you guys is the same stuff that they're going to be talking about in a 1-minute snippet on the news, probably Fox, in a week. It's totally mind-blowing. Prepper Jesus, good to go. Hallelujah. We got knife Jesus, we got Prepper Jesus, we got the whole Jesus clan in here, man. It's Guns Coast to Coast, Bradley Collins. Good. Love you guys. Okay, let's see here. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about here is the insurance hat. I got you. You're still in paper claims because of it. I got you. Yeah, that's a lot of people didn't even know about it. It was crazy. They just went to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist was like, well, the pharmacy's closed today. Sorry, something happened. The computers are down. Our pharmacist didn't show up. They just had all these lies to cover what was going on down from corporate. And yeah, it happened. It's real stuff. Okay, so the next thing we'll talk about, I'll drink a little bit more coffee. Time for a coffee sip. It is real coffee. All right. So Russia warns West to back off now. We talked about this briefly yesterday with the F-16s and so on. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into it right now. So Russia says that it could target British military locations in the UK. Ooh, that wouldn't be an act of war at all now, would it? And beyond, if the West doesn't cool it with the threats. Here we go. First yawn of the day. There we go. All right. So actually, that's the second one because I yawned during the video I made for the Patreons this morning. So the UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron recently said that Ukraine has the right to use British weapons in attacks on Russia. For that, Russia summoned the British and French ambassadors to Moscow and told them this, quote, any British military facilities and equipment on the territory of Ukraine and beyond could be a response to Ukrainian strikes with the use of British weapons on the territory of Russia. So that's very convoluted, basically said, we're going to consider anything that happens your fault. U.S. and UK politicians are talking a big game about sending troops to fight Russia in Ukraine, but the State Department walked that back a little, saying the president has made it clear that he will not send U.S. troops to fight in Ukraine. Well, that's funny. He also said he wasn't going to send U.S. troops to Israel, but they're building a bridge. Let's see here. Appear. French President Emmanuel Macron also reiterated that when he said that he wouldn't rule out sending troops to Ukraine, he didn't mean it. I know I said it, but I didn't mean it. I'm the president of a nation, but I didn't mean it. On Monday, he said, quote, we are not at war with Russia or the Russian people. We're also not seeking a change of power in Russia. And now you know why they wear brown pants. Good to go, guys. Listen, I brought this story to you guys' attention because the Russians aren't messing around. The Russians have this wall of words that basically, if you attack us, we attack you. If you do this, we do that. They're literally telling the world, they're telling these presidents with no spine or backbone that fuck around and find out. Excuse my French. That's literally what he's telling them. And they're like, oh shit. Well, I didn't really mean to say that. It's like I hate to say it, but this is very reminiscent of the very educated person running their sucking line at Starbucks and somebody turning around and saying, if you don't shut up, I'm going to punch you in the face. And yeah, you guys know what happened after that, right? So when people talk like this, they have to be positioning themselves to, they've already pre-positioned themselves to be able to accomplish their objectives. Now, I don't believe that the Russians want to do anything to the United States. I don't believe that they want to do anything to anybody other than they want to make sure that any more expansion doesn't happen. And that, well, I think we see what's happening over there in Europe, and we need to be aware of it, and we need to prepare for it. And how do we do that? Well, right now, the only way is with the EMP Shield, guys. If you guys didn't know this, I am an affiliate for the EMP Shield program. And guys, EMP Shield's the only company that is listed by the Department of Homeland Security in their February 5th EMP Resiliency Report. That should be telling you something. With tensions growing in Ukraine, the Middle East, and now Taiwan and the Philippines, more and more we should be thinking about that one situation no one wants to prepare for, and that's an EMP event. Here's what I'll say. I have a plan. I have an EMP. If an EMP event happens, I will be ready. I have an EMP shield device on all of my cars. If something happens, my girlfriend will be able to get to me. If I need to go get grandma, I'll be able to do that. EMP shield is the only device that meets, I believe it exceeds 7 military standards for EMP protection. In fact, there are groups out there that are trying to debunk the device and can't. Every time they test it, every time they try to fry it, the only thing that gets fried are the devices that are around the tests. The protected devices continue to work. With that said, I'll leave a link somewhere for you to check it out. If you decide to pull the trigger on that one, don't forget to use code LocalPrepper to save $50. And when the items are expensive, the savings are going to be key. All right, so we're going to go ahead and check the comments real quick. Where are we at here? Southern Tier Prepper, good to go. See you. Or see you. I'm sorry, not see you, but yes, you're driving. I got you. So you're listening, which means you shouldn't be texting, but I do appreciate you. All right, so it looks like the comments you guys don't really have anything, or you're typing vigorously based off of what I was just talking about. Also, as you guys can see, the sponsors for Prep Stock are changing along the right side of the screen. You guys should be able to see that happening. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next subject, since you guys are so freaking talkative. All right, so the EU lectures China about making too much stuff. You guys can't make this shit up. Chinese President Xi Jinping was in France on Monday to meet with French President Macron, but Macron invited party pooper Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, to the party to sabotage a message of collaboration. This is, the French just aren't that smart. I don't know what it is about they keep electing this moron, and it's like that. What is it? What's the definition of crazy when you do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? Hey, good morning, Debbie. Good to see you. Let's see here. Bradley says you can make a lot more progress in friendship than you can as an enemy. EMP shield is real deal equipment. Absolutely, Bradley. Like I said, I have one on all of my vehicles. Excuse me. If I own this property, I'd probably have one on this property too, but I don't, so I won't. Let's see. Macron had intended to forge a relationship based on strategic autonomy. Lots of big words meaning nothing. He wanted to show the Chinese leader that France and Europe can make their own decisions in their relationship with China, and that it's not dictated by the U.S. or other Western unelected globalists. U.S., Western, or unelected globalists. That's interesting. Enter this Western unelected globalist. She said that China is doing too much manufacturing, too much exporting, too many people, and that the world cannot absorb China's surplus production. She said that she will coordinate with the G7 to address the problem. As French political pundit Arnaud Bertrand put it, quote, "It's a terrible image." In Macron's own words, this was the whole point of the trip. Show that France and Europe can speak to China independently with their own voice. And then they literally use American words to say they'll ally with Americans against China. You can't make this stuff up. Oh my God. All right, let's see here. Jordan said, watch the documentary Brand Helvivive. They talk about the clothing waste and fast fashion created in China. Got you, Jordan. I'll put that on my to-do list. Not joking. All right, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Looks like we've been on for 37 minutes. 49 GOP senators confront Biden with a bold plea to halt WHO pandemic proposals. That was painful to say. 49 GOP senators are unified in their stance by submitting a formal request to President Joe Biden. They urge him to retract his support for two significant international agreements that are set to be debated later this month at the World Health Assembly in Geneva. The discussions, starting with May 27th, will revolve around what has been termed the Pandemic Agreement or Pandemic Treaty, as well as proposed amendments to the international health regulations, which have pushed the control of misinformation and advocate for vaccine passports. Oh, they're pushing for this stuff? Wow, unheard of, right? No. The Biden administration has thrown its support behind these proposals, which would see global health officials granted extensive control over the management of pandemics. However, the senators, all members of the Senate Republican Conference, argue that the WHO must first address its failures during the COVID-19 crisis, which according to them were both total and predictable. They believe these failures have caused significant damage to the United States. Also, for my YouTube handler, by the way, I'm literally reading this from an approved article that was videoed on your platform yesterday. Their letter emphasizes that no treaty should be signed nor amendments to the IHR approved without rectifying these shortcomings, which, if unaddressed, would potentially lead to increased authority for the WHO, undermine intellectual property rights, and endanger free speech. Moreover, they pointed out a procedural concern. Article 55 of the IHR stipulates that any proposed amendment must be communicated to member states 4 months before the World Health Assembly. Yet, with the meeting fast approaching, the next text of the proposal remains undisclosed to WHO member states. This lack of transparency is alarming to the senators because some of the 300 proposed amendments could dramatically boost the WHO's emergency powers, representing a grave threat to the U.S. sovereignty. Consequently, they declared amendments are not in order. Leading this group, Senator Ron Johnson cautioned President Biden against supporting the WHO's proposal without Senate approval, highlighting that such support could be perceived as treaty endorsement, which constitutionally requires a 2/3 Senate majority. Oh, got the Constitution involved. Their letter concludes with a firm plea for the president to, quote, withdraw your administration's support for the current IHR amendments and pandemic treaty negotiations. Shift your administration's focus to comprehensive WHO reforms that address its persistent failures without expanding its authority. And should you ignore these calls, submit any pandemic-related agreement to the Senate for its advice and consent. Yeah, because it's a treaty, guys. Because it's a treaty. They tried to rename it, say it wasn't a treaty. Now they're calling it a treaty, but it's not a treaty, but it's named a treaty. It's a treaty. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and check the, where are we at here? We got West Virginia Pappy. We got Tefel. All right, looks like the chat is kind of going a little bit slow today. So we're going to go ahead and I think that's going to be it for today, guys. We rolled on for 41 minutes. That's not bad. Hopefully you guys saw all the sponsors for Prep Stock, and obviously Prep Stock tickets are still on sale. We're actually doing really well. I don't know how many camping sites are left. Prepstock.net. There's a link below in the description someplace. I'll go back and make sure it's there for you. Also, if you guys were wanting to check out either EMP Shield or Jace Medical, their links are at the top of the description for you guys. Let's see here. West Virginia Pappy says, in case they need another lockdown to win election. It's not going to work this time. It's not going to work this time. Everybody's give a shit meter has been pegged, buddy. And hopefully everybody has figured that out. All right, guys, I think that's going to be it. As usual, if you like what I'm doing, there are links below for supporting the channel. And stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.